The annual Undaunted Celebration is back in the Elder Scrolls Online, bringing you bonus event rewards while you complete the 4-man group dungeons found throughout Tamriel. And this year, it's also paired with a matching Golden Pursuits campaign, which I'll weave into this video too. You'll unlock the Dungeon Queue Finder at level 10 in your level up rewards, and you can access it under the Activity Finder. But to get the event rewards, you don't have to complete the dungeon with one of these Queue Finder groups, or even a pre-made group. You could bring one friend and companions, or go completely solo if you're strong enough. You can walk to and enter dungeons from their location in the Overland, travel to a group member when they're inside, or travel to the dungeon's fast travel icon on the map to skip the Queue Finder altogether. Since all that is required is defeating the final boss, base game dungeons are going to be the fastest, easiest option. But that is all you'll need to do to actually partake in the celebration. Complete 4-man dungeons. There is an introductory quest that's free in the Crown Store, Glory of the Undaunted. But aside from showing you where the Undaunted Enclave is located, there isn't much reward or benefit to doing it, unless it's your first time. The first time you defeat and loot the final boss of a dungeon each day, you'll get a gold event box and 2 event tickets. Any additional final dungeon bosses for the day can drop a purple box instead. The latest Opal weapon style for this year is Opal Scourge Harvester, and there's new motifs in the drop pool, including even the Fallen Banners motifs. The rest of the drops are returning, however, and there doesn't seem to be any new furnishings this time. But you can get a second curated set piece from each dungeon you complete inside all these boxes. So remember to bind your boss drops before you open the box to minimize duplicates and complete sets faster. Gold boxes have a guaranteed chance to drop an Opal weapon style page from any of the other 6 returning styles. But they, and the latest Scourge Harvester Opal weapons, can also drop in purple boxes. Solo players can also get a single purple box per account from Bogrel's Delve Daily 2, but you can't get tickets or the gold box from it. In addition to the Opal weapon styles, there are also returning Opal monster masks you can get from completing specific dungeons on Veteran when you loot the final boss, with an increased chance when you complete Veteran Hard Mode. The latest mask for this year is the Opal Scourge Harvester, and as a bonus, you have a chance to get the matching weapon style pages here too. All the regular older mask styles are dropping from their respective dungeons too. You do have a better chance of getting the normal mask style if you've completed the hard mode of that dungeon previously. Check your journal achievements if you're not sure. But you don't need to do the hard mode each time to get better chances of a normal mask drop. 2 of these older helmet styles are tied to pursuits that require specific dungeon runs. But there are 6 of these dungeon-specific pursuits in total, all of which are pledges at least once during the event window. So you can overlap these completions with the pledge dailies if you choose to. Pledges are daily dungeon quests unlocked as early as level 45 by reading the Undaunted invitation you receive in your level up rewards, and picked up from the NPCs found at the Undaunted Enclave. Pledges reward Undaunted keys, a special currency used at the Undaunted vendors. And the more challenging the daily dungeon you complete, the more keys you can get. What's more is that during this event, these key drops will be doubled. Here's a look at the pledges for the full event window, tied to a list of pursuits and mass drops that you can farm on the same days. Feel free to screenshot and plan accordingly. Only 5 masks aren't on the pledge rotation, all of which are in DLC dungeons, so you'll need to run them without the pledge incentive and have access to them. If you're farming pledges for keys, hard mode runs are the most lucrative, and in the early base game dungeons, many of them are as simple as reading a scroll beforehand to start a harder version of the final boss fight. However, there are exceptions. And if you're ever not sure what to do, check your achievements, a guide, or ask your group. The keys that you get for these pledges can be used to buy shoulder pieces from monster sets. Or optionally, you can spend them for a few skill styles, like the Purple Destruction Staff Ultimate. And during Undaunted, there are special mystery coffers that provide random Opal Shoulder style pages for 25 keys. And if you happen to own some of these monster shoulder styles already, you can get the Opal version of the same style for 50 keys. So this is a great time to farm and spend as many keys as you can. This also makes the Golden Pursuit's top reward very well timed. There are 21 activities total, and completing 15 will get you 50 of these keys. We've talked about what you'll need to do to finish many of them throughout this video. 3 are tied to completing pledges, and 3 more are tied to completing dungeons. Plus, there are 6 tied to the specific dungeons that we talked about. But that leaves 3 more to complete, and 9 more options to choose from. 2 pursuits are simply claiming your daily rewards. 2 more send you to kill delve bosses, which you can stack with the Undaunted Delve dailies. 3 require you to kill public dungeon bosses. The base game zones will be easier with less powerful bosses that are closer together. And the final 2 options are from leveling the Undaunted skill lines, which you'll do after joining the Undaunted and completing pledges, trials, dungeon quests, and dailies, if you're on a character that hasn't maxed the skill line out already. If you don't have the skill line, you can unlock it as early as level 10 from the Tavern in Ardon for Dominion characters, Stonefalls within the Pact, Orkla Numbra for the Covenant. In addition to the 50 keys, you can get 500 seals and 25,000 gold. And while this is a nice stack of currency, there are no FOMO-inducing limited-time collectibles tied to this pursuit that you'd be missing out on. But speaking of limited-time currency, let's move on to the event tickets and impresario. There are 26 total event tickets this time. A quick reminder that you can only hold 12 tickets at a time, so make sure to check your balance before you run the whole dungeon. At the impresario, you can pick up some bound Opal style pages and complete the most recent morphing spider mount. This will likely be the last chance to get these fragments until the end of the year, with a new quarter about to start. The Indrik vendor has updated to her fall stock, and Phileas has 3 returning pets, plus a morphed mount, skin, and personality. And that's a wrap on this 2025 Undaunted event guide. If the burnout's creeping in, do something else. And you're not without fun options. The Vengeance campaign will be live in the middle of the event. Both the pursuits and the event end on the 30th. Be sure to claim all your rewards by then. I'll be posting some short tip videos throughout the entire event if you're new and looking for help. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the event.